February 13, 2023 Stock Market News. Please like and subscribe. Thank you. BPI News. Bank of the Philippine Islands. 30 million only. SEC slashes BPI penalty by as much as 78%. The Ayala Group saved a lot of money after the Securities and Exchange Commission decided to cut the fine slapped on Bank of the Philippine Islands. During a February 7 N-Bank meeting, the SEC approved the request of BPI to reduce its fine to P30 million. The SEC had previously penalized BPI for P134.6 million for failing to secure the watchdog's confirmation that its 2013 to 2019 Executive Stock Purchase Plan and Executive Stock Option Plan were exempted from registration. BPI told the Manila Times that the error was made in good faith related to the application of leftover exempted shares from a previous employee stock program. Globe Gcash News. Gcash gets SEC greenlight to launch stock trading partnership with AB Capital. The Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) has approved the plan of the Ayala family to offer stock trading on its mobile wallet Gcash in partnership with brokerage AB Capital Securities. Under the sandbox arrangement, select users will test the functionalities of GStocks PH, a new feature that will allow users to trade Philippine stocks using AB Capital's system through the Gcash app. Gcash said this move opens up bigger and better opportunities for its 71 million users to grow their funds and invest in local companies. It is also part of its ongoing transformation from a mobile payments app into a fintech platform that offers credit and investment services. During the dry run, select users coming from Gcash and AB Capital's employee base will be able to register and apply for a trading account with the brokerage house and top up their trading wallet. SEC Commissioner Kelvin Lester K. Lee said the agency would do its part to ensure that the regulatory environment will allow such innovations to flourish, while remaining cautious and vigilant for the sake of consumer and investor protection. Partnerships with trading platforms give us an opportunity to empower Filipinos from all walks of life, so that they too can start their investment journey easily and confidently with the stellar capabilities we offer at Gcash, and of course the support of both the SEC and PSE, said Martha Sazon, Gcash President and CEO. AB Capital Securities President Antonio Jose Perique, for his part, said the strategic partnership with Gcash and the PSE would allow ordinary Filipinos to share in the wealth that is created by some of the country's best-run companies. Most people still leave their savings in bank accounts that yield less than inflation. Meanwhile, the wealthy get progressively wealthier as they are able to park their money in the shares of companies whose value tends to rise over time. By granting the public access to stocks through a widely used platform like Gcash, anybody should be able to buy shares in their favorite companies, Perique said. Vreit News. Vistarate, Inc. Manny VR to double Vistarate's GFA. Vistarate, the real estate investment trust of ultra-billionario Manny VR, has mapped out its investment targets which will include doubling its gross floor area by the end of 2025. Vreit also aims to diversify its portfolio by investing in other commercial real estate properties of its mother company Vista Land and Lifescapes Inc. The principal investment mandate and strategy of the company is to invest, on a long-term basis, in a diversified portfolio of income-generating commercial real estate assets strategically located within Vista Land Group's integrated developments or in key urban areas, Vreit said in its 3-year investment strategy submitted to the Philippine Stock Exchange. Vreit said it aims to maintain high occupancy rates and quality tenants, with particular focus on those offering essential goods and services. Further, the company targets to achieve at least 10% annual total shareholder return through organic growth and new acquisitions. Vreit also plans to continue to elevate mall standards through innovative concepts in the retail experience. The company continuously looks out for opportunities where it may innovate and further enhance the experience of its stakeholders based on market trends and the changing office and retail landscape, it said. ACEN. Globe Costco FILRT remove MSCI. Ayala. Lucio Company, Goshenun stocks kicked out of MSCI. Two Ayala-led companies will be removed from the closely tracked MSCI Global Standard Indices. The latest MSCI rebalancing results showed that ACEN Corp. And Globe Telecom Inc. will be ejected from the MSCI Global Standard Index. No additions, meanwhile, were made on the latest rebalancing. ACEN is the Ayala Group's listed energy platform, while Globe serves as its telecommunications arm. The changes in the constituents for the MSCI Global Standard Indexes will take effect on February 28, 2023. Meanwhile, Billionario Lucio Co's Costco and the Goshenun family's real estate investment trust FILRT will be deleted from the MSCI Global Small Cap. Meralco News. Manila Electric Company. Meralco power rates drop in February. The Manila Electric Company, Meralco, will slash power rates this month due to lower generation and transmission charges. In a media briefing Friday, Meralco spokesperson Joe Zaldariaga said the utility giant would cut power rates by P0.0106 per kilowatt-hour kWh to P10.8895 per kilowatt-hour. The adjustment will reflect a P2 reduction in electricity bills for households consuming 200 kilowatt-hours. Zaldariaga said power generation cost declined by P0.2137 to P6.9154 per kilowatt-hour due to lower prices in the wholesale electricity spot market (WESM) and independent power producers (IPPs), where Meralco sourced the power requirements of its customers. Lower generation costs from WESM and IPPs have offset the higher charges from power supply agreements. The continued appreciation of Philippine peso, which affects 95% of IPP cost, which are dollar-denominated, contributed to the reduction, he said. Meralco sources 47% of power from PSAs, 37% from IPPs and 16% from WESM this month. Zaldariaga said Meralco is still implementing distribution-related refunds equivalent to P0.8656 per kilowatt-hour for residential customers, which tempers this month's power rates. The refunds will be rolled out until May this year. PNA. APX News. Apex Mining Company, Inc. Ricky Razon led Apex seals acquisition of Inigo Zobel and Ramon Ang's Asia Alliance Mining. Apex Mining Corp. Of ultra-billionario Enrique K. Razon Jr. has formally acquired control of Asia Alliance Mining Resources Corp. AAMRC, from Clarendon Holdings Inc., which is owned by ultra-billionarios Inigo Zobel and Ramon S. Ang for $81.5 million, roughly P4.4 billion. In a stock exchange filing, APX said the deed of absolute sale was signed Friday following compliance with the closing conditions. The transaction involved the acquisition by APX of 1.9 million shares or 100% of the outstanding capital of AARMC from Clarendon and other selling shareholders including Simon L. Paz, Leo Atade, Marie Paz Tacorda, Annabelle Dera, and Irene Escada. The shares were acquired for $42.8947 per share. APX said the total consideration shall be paid upon signing of the share purchase agreement and the balance of $76 million shall be paid in 4 equal annual installments over the next 5 years. The acquisition will allow APX to expand its mining operations in Maco, Davao de Oro and provide it with a suitable site for a new tailings storage facility when its existing TSF reaches full capacity within the next 3 years. AAMRC has interests over copper mines and mining claims covering 19,135.12 hectares, situated in the municipalities of Mabini, Maco and Marigusan, Davao de Oro covered by the North Davao Mining Corp. Application FTAA 1114 NDMC claims. The NDMC mining claims that will be developed and operated by AAMRC surround the existing mining claims and operations of APX in Maco, Davao de Oro. APX had an application for production sharing agreement (APSA), which overlapped with the NDMC claim but lost the case against PMDC in the Supreme Court in 2020. SHLPH News. Pilipinas Shell Petroleum Corporation. Shareholder sues Shell bosses over climate risks. British energy giant Shell has been hit with a new lawsuit over climate change, with activist investors accusing the company's leadership of mismanaging risks to the company. Corporations have faced a growing number of climate-related lawsuits in recent years as they come under pressure to step up efforts to curb global warming. Shell was already ordered by a Dutch court in 2021 to slash its greenhouse gas emissions by 45% by the end of the decade after it was sued by environmental groups. This time, Cleantearth, a minor Shell shareholder, has filed a lawsuit in the High Court of England and Wales against Shell bosses for failing to manage the material and foreseeable risks posed to the company by climate change. Shell, which recorded annual profits last week, denies the allegations. The group's current plan will tie the company to projects and investments that are likely to become unprofitable as the world cleans up its energy systems, Cleantearth said in a statement on Thursday. That puts the company's long-term commercial viability at risk, and also threatens efforts to protect the planet, further increasing the risk to the company. Cleantearth alleges the Shell board breached legal duties by failing to adopt and implement an energy transition strategy that aligns with the Paris Agreement. Under the landmark 2015 Paris deal, nations pledged to reach net zero carbon emissions by the middle of the century to try and limit the increase in global temperatures to 2 degrees Celsius, and preferably to 1.5 C. No merit. Shell said in response that it does not accept Cleantearth's allegations, insisting the claims had no merit. We believe our climate targets are aligned with the more ambitious goal of the Paris Agreement to limit the increase in the global average temperature to 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels, it added in a separate statement. The giant is facing criticism over its net zero plans from the wider environmental lobby, which accuses it of greenwashing or marketing a company as overly climate-friendly. Cleantearth said its legal action had the support of institutional investors holding more than 12 million shares. Shell stressed such investors were not claimants but had sent Cleantearth letters of support, and accounted for less than 0.2% of its total shareholder base. It added that Cleantearth held a very small number of Shell shares. Thursday's legal claim was lodged 1 week after Shell posted spectacular annual net profit of $42.3 billion thanks to surging oil and gas prices. The post-tax figure, fueled by the invasion of Ukraine by major energy producer Russia, was more than double the amount achieved in 2021. The energy sector has faced growing calls to step up efforts to transition away from fossil fuels as the world scrambles to become a net zero emissions economy by 2050. But British oil giant BP on Tuesday reduced its target for cutting carbon emissions after reporting that its underlying profit had more than doubled last year to $27.7 billion. Telephone news. PLDT, Inc. PLDT pushes digital upskilling. PLDT Inc. is pushing for the digital upskilling of more Filipinos to help the country attain its digitalization goals. The telco giant said it has pioneered initiatives aligned with the digital upskilling focus area of the Godigital Pilipinas (GDP) movement, an initiative recently launched by the Private Sector Advisory Council (PSAC). We support GDP and the government's initiatives in bridging the digital divide, all aimed to help ensure that no Filipino is left behind as we empower more of our countrymen through technology, PLDT President and CEO Alfredo Panlilio said. GDP heeds the call of the government to address the risk of a digital divide by promoting digital literacy and building a sustainable digital ecosystem. To hasten the country's digital upskilling and transformation, we at PLDT remain committed to provide best-in-class connectivity infrastructure, digital services, and cloud applications that serve the needs of individuals, families, businesses and enterprises nationwide, said Panlilio, a founding member of the PSAC's Digital Infrastructure Group. GDP goes hand in hand with our thrust at PLDT of empowering our customers with knowledge, which will ultimately help them best leverage on our products and solutions, he said. Panlilio cited the importance of having a pipeline of professionals that would power the country's digital pivot. PSAC's GDP aligns with the whole of society approach encapsulated in the Philippine Development Plan, with jobs creation as one of the focus areas. As we aim for a revitalized society, we need to upskill more Filipinos toward jobs of the future, he said. The PLDT group pioneered efforts in producing industry-ready Filipino graduates through science, technology, engineering and math (STEM) specialization in 2003. The Smart Wireless Engineering Education Program, on the other hand, contributes to the academic and professional journey of 27 partner colleges and universities nationwide through equipment, technical trainings, innovation platforms, immersive experiences, and extension services. PLDT said more than 15,000 teachers have also been trained on the Central Basahin Institute Foundation Dynamic Learning Program, producing students whose competence in STEM disciplines are comparable to global standards. PLDT, SMART, and social outreach arm PLDT SMART Foundation have likewise been supporting the disaster-resilient and innovative teaching strategies since 2010. In support of the digitalization initiatives of GDP, PLDT said efforts to strengthen the country's position as a promising hub for jobs-generating hyperscale investments in Asia-Pacific are being undertaken by its data center subsidiary EPLD and corporate business arm PLDT Enterprise. PLDT said construction is in full swing for Vitro Santa Rosa, set to be the Philippines' largest data center campus. The telco said ongoing capacity expansion projects of premier Vitro data centers in Makati and Parañaque would also further strengthen PLDT's foothold as the dominant data center provider in the country. PLDT's investments in the Jupiter Cable System, the country's fastest trans-Pacific cable system connecting the Philippines to the U.S., and the upcoming Asia Direct Cable and Apricot Cable Systems, meanwhile, are expected to help meet the hyperscale industry's future requirements for massive data capacity and high-speed connectivity. The telco giant also continues to expand the reach and capacity of its fiber infrastructure, enabling TIT to offer fiber to the home services across the Philippines. Crete News. Citacor Energy Right Corp. Citacor prepares for IPO, to invest $4 billion in renewable energy. Citacor Renewable Energy Corp., one of the Philippines' biggest solar power producers, is planning to go public this year to fund a $4 billion investment in new solar projects over the next 5 years, its chief executive officer said on Friday. For a country such as ours with limited oil and coal but have abundant sun, wind and water, it is imperative we deploy capital investment into renewable energy, Citacor President and CEO Oliver Y. Tan told reporters. Citacor will file documents for an initial public offering in the second quarter and complete its listing within the year, Mr. Tan said, adding it will be large enough to attract foreign investors for an international tranche. Fresh capital from the listing will allow Citacor, which has an installed capacity of 241 megawatts via solar panels, to invest $800 million this year to increase output to 1 gigawatt GW, and around $4 billion to reach 5 gigawatts within 5 years, Mr. Tan said. The Philippines, an archipelagic country among the most vulnerable to climate change, aims to increase renewables in its power mix to 35% by 2030, from 21% in 2020, and to 50% by 2040. Coal accounted for nearly 60% in 2020. Citacor is also pursuing 7 offshore wind projects with a total capacity of 3 gigawatts. Citacor is the parent firm of Citacor Energy Right Corp. And is a sister company of Megawide Construction Corp. Citacor Right on Friday listed its maiden ASEAN Green Bond in the Philippines fixed income trading platform. It raised 4.5 billion pesos $82.6 million from its bond sale to fund acquisition of land for its renewable energy portfolio. JFC News. Jollibee Foods Corporation. Tony Tan Kakshing opens first Jollibee outlet in Surrey, Canada. Fast food giant Jollibee Foods Corp. of billionaire Tony Tan Kakshing is opening a new store in Canada this week. A report by Canadian-born online news source Daily Hive said that Jollibee's first Surrey location would officially open on February 16. The new store will be located at 9900 King George, which is conveniently located right next to the King George station. Jollibee also intends to open a store in the Strawberry Hill Shopping Centre complex in Surrey, according to the report. The homegrown fast food chain aims to be one of the world's biggest restaurant groups, with plans to open more stores in Canada and the US.